Hello, Eric from Rusty Revivals here. Haven't had much on the internet lately, been kind of busy. As you can see, we've got our new shop here and our new lift, which is making it very convenient for us. We didn't have this before, so it's going to kind of revolutionize what we do. Today's project is I bought this 2007 Honda Odyssey van from a fella at our church. And he was kind of frustrated with it. He was trying to change the belt tensioner, and that's kind of what that unit looks like. There's a little hydraulic cylinder, and then it pivots on this point right here. There's another idler pulley that goes in there, and when this hydraulic cylinder has tension on it, it puts a lot of pressure on this bolt right here. And what he tried to do is he just tried to horse it, and because of the lateral tension on the bolt, it just snapped it right off, snapped the bolt right in half. And because it's in a place where he didn't realize you could get at it from this angle, you know, if you raise the car up, take the wheel off, then you take the inner fender plastic out, it actually gives you pretty good access to the bolt that was snapped off. Now, I had about 2 threads showing on that bolt. If I can get my light in here without it falling over so that you can see what's going on. Right up here is the bolt. And what I've just done is I welded a new bolt head, you know, took basically a 1/2-inch nut, and I welded it onto that broken off bolt that I had sticking out. It's a metric bolt. It was sticking out about maybe 1/8 of an inch to 3/16 of the bolt was actually still sticking out. So I just slid that nut on there, and now I've welded it on. That does a couple of things. That heats that bolt, makes it expand. When that thing was welded on there, that bolt was red hot. Makes it expand, and now I'm allowing it to cool, and then that hopefully will just turn right out. I don't believe this bolt was rusted in. I think it was just that lateral tension that created the condition that made it snap off. So right now I'm basically just trying to do the waiting game here to let this bolt cool down enough so that I can then turn that bolt out. So we'll try that very shortly here. But I purchased this car for $1,000, and I'm hoping to basically just fix this problem, a couple other minor little issues on it, and then turn it around for a little bit extra money so we can work on our C10 project. So I'll keep you posted as how it works. All right, we've allowed a little bit of time, about 10 minutes, for this bolt to cool. I welded a 1/2-inch nut on there, so I'm going to put a 3/4-inch socket, 3/8 drive handle, going to start short and see what happens. So here we go. Okay, we got it. It is turning loose. So it's just going to ratchet right out there. Wonderful. So there you go. That's a little trick for getting a broken bolt out of the hole. Well, there it is. The broken bolt. As you can see, well, it's out of there. Didn't do too good a welding job, but it was good enough. What that does is that heats up the threaded part of this bolt when you weld. You know, it gets red hot. And steel expands when it's hot and contracts when it's cold. It gets smaller. So when I welded on that bolt, it heats up and expands the bolt inside the hole, and then as it cools, it contracts and makes a little bit of room. So it didn't take much effort at all to back that thing out. All I need to do is find a new bolt to replace this arm, and we'll be all set. All right, here's that belt tensioner out of that Honda Odyssey van. And I got a little more information for you. I was at the dealership the other day trying to find this bolt, the one that was broken off here. This little bolt right here. And they don't have a specific part number. They show it as an individual part on the diagram there at the Honda dealership, but there's not a part number assigned for just the bolt, so I had to buy the whole assembly that you see here. Basically, this is the old one. The new one is already in the vehicle. But what they told me is the reason why that bolt breaks. Now, I could have possibly tried to find another bolt at like Fastenal or someplace that specifically deals with, you know, different bolts. But the problem is this shank length has to be just exact. I'm going to explain that here, or try to. What they told me is that because this thing, when it's bolted onto the car, it's flat on this back side. And when you bolt it down, I dropped the bolt. Hold on here. When it's bolted down to the car, this thing has to be torqued just to the right amount. And that proper torque, according to the dealer, is 65 pounds. 65 foot-pounds of torque. And if that's not tight, if it's not torqued all the way, what then happens is, as this thing is in the vehicle, it can pivot. And this thing actually, the one that I have here, does not sit. I've got a nice flat steel workbench here, and it doesn't sit very well. So I don't know if it was a manufacturer's defect or whatever, but this is the unit out of the car with the broken bolt. So what they told me is that when that's not torqued properly, that rocking motion puts fatigue on the bolt. This is, you can see it, it's snapped right where it comes out of the mounting bracket. So if this is pivoting, it will put fatigue right where that ended up breaking. Plus, like I did say earlier, the lateral pressure applied by this ram right here, you know, this thing is pivoting this way due to this ram. So between the bolt being fatigued and the lateral pressure, when you went to loosen this bolt and take it out, it would just snap right off. So I guess it's pretty crucial. Torque it to 65 pounds. Make sure that you got the surfaces good and clean and flat, and that should solve the problem. Now that I've got mine done, the belt is tracking straight and true. So hopefully that'll help you. Once again, this is Eric from Rusty Revivals, and you know, we care about your car, but we care more about you. And you can know for sure that when you pass away, that you can join the Lord in heaven simply by asking Him to save you. It's that simple. You know, religion doesn't do it. Good works doesn't do it. You can't earn it. All you can do is ask. So just say, Lord, I'm a sinner. I need a Savior, and I'm putting my trust in you. And He promises, God is faithful to His promises. He promises that He'll save you. It's just like the thief on the cross. He said, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. And the Lord looked at him and said, today thou shalt be with me in paradise. So that's really, truly all you got to do. It's not the fancy prayer. It's not a lot of fancy words. It's just simply asking God to save you. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned.